partners who come to sit and breathe with them and support their practice. We practiced mindful breathing and offered the collective energy of peace and mindfulness so they could practice listening with compassion. Our presence with the two groups was very important. We created a collective energy that supported mindful speech. I think we can organize the same practice for ourselves or for any two groups who are divided. Sometimes Hindus are afraid of Muslims, and at the same time, Muslims are afraid of Hindus. In other situations, Muslims are afraid of Christians, and Christians are afraid of Muslims. We think of the other group as a threat to our survival and to our identity. The first thing is to look deeply and see that not only on your side, but also on the other side, there's a lot of fear and suffering. In the beginning, we think that we are the only ones who suffer and have a lot of fear. But if we get close enough to the other side and look, we see that they also have a lot of fear of us, and also suffering. When we can see their suffering and fear, we suffer less already. When we're able to produce a compassionate thought, this thought begins to heal us, heal the other, and heal the world. Peace negotiations. I think if government officials organized peace talks the way we organize sessions of deep listening and loving speech, they would have more success in bringing reconciliation to opposing parties. When opposing parties come together to negotiate, they shouldn't negotiate right away. Each group has a lot of doubt, anger, and fear in them, and negotiating may be too challenging when these strong emotions are present. The first part of any peace initiative should be devoted to the practice of breathing, walking, sitting, and calming. Then the groups may be ready to listen to each other, and the desire and capacity for mutual understanding will be there to serve as a basis for successful negotiations. If the atmosphere gets too heated during the negotiating session and the tension too strong, the chairperson should invite everyone to stop and breathe in and out to calm themselves down. Even if someone was in the middle of addressing the group, everyone should stop and breathe in and out together. When I addressed a meeting of congressional representatives in Washington, D.C., I proposed a similar process. After that, we offered a retreat for a number of representatives, and we practiced mindfulness together. That was many years ago, but there are a few members of Congress who still practice mindful walking on Capitol Hill. It's possible and very beneficial to bring compassionate communication and mindful speech into political life. There's no place where deep listening and loving speech are inappropriate. We don't need to save these techniques for a special occasion. They can be adapted to any situation and be helpful. If we use them now, we will have the understanding and insight we need to repair the damage we caused in the past and bring healing to ourselves, our families, our relationships, and our communities. 6. Mindful communication at work. Successful work communication begins before we even arrive at our jobs. Often on our way to work, as we drive, bike, take the train, ride the bus, or walk, we focus on what we'll have to do when we arrive, or on something we didn't finish before we left home. If we instead bring our awareness to mindful breathing and to what's happening right in that moment, we can enjoy every moment of transporting ourselves to work. Before I begin my work of teaching for the day, I don't spend time worrying about what questions people might ask or how I might answer them. Instead, as I walk from my room to the place where I teach, I enjoy every step and every breath fully, and I live each moment of my walk deeply. This way, when I arrive, I feel fresh and ready to work. I can offer my best answer to any question I may be asked. If you arrive at your workplace having already practiced mindfulness while getting ready at home and while on your way, you'll arrive happier and more relaxed than you have in the past, and successful communication will come a lot more easily. The way you think about your work and your work relationships affects how you communicate in your work environment. You may be under the impression that the purpose of your work is to offer a service to others, or to produce an object or commodity. But while at work, you're also producing thoughts, speech, and actions. Communication is as much a part of your job as is the end product. If you communicate well in your work environment, not only do you enjoy yourself more, but you create a harmonious atmosphere that will carry over into your work. Everything you do will have a stronger element of compassion and be of greater benefit to more people. Leading by example. When I was in India a number of years ago, I met Mr. K.R. Narayanan when he was the President of the Indian Parliament. We spoke about using the practice of deep listening and compassionate dialogue in legislative bodies. I said that any work environment, including a legislative assembly, could become a community motivated by mutual understanding and compassion. If we create a healthy and nourishing work community, we are modeling the kind of environment we want to create in the world. When, in a work environment, you use mindful and compassionate speech, you're offering the best of yourself. If we can combine our insights and experiences, the collective insight will bring about the wisest decisions. If we're not able to listen to our colleagues with a free heart, if we only consider and support ideas that we already know and agree with, we're harming our work environment. Whatever your position is at work, you can set an example by learning to listen to everyone with equal interest and concern. Many workplaces are characterized by daily stress. We need to set up spaces at work for the practice of mindful breathing. Mindful breathing is the first step to mindful communicating because it relaxes us in body and mind. We have to be relaxed, to feel well, so that we can make the best decisions possible. When we model relaxation at work, we are already communicating powerfully. Mr. Narayanan and I talked about integrating mindful breathing into the Parliament of India as a way to reduce stress. If they can do it in the legislature, perhaps you can do it in your workplace. Can you bring your colleagues together to practice mindful breathing, or make time available for this before any group meeting, so that people will be able to communicate more effectively and without stress? If you can't organize others, even your own mindful breathing will make your work communication go better. Sometimes workplace communication can seem so difficult, but one mindful breath already begins to make it easier. Greeting your colleagues. What is the first thing you do when you arrive at work? Do you smile at the people you see? Do you greet them? The first few minutes are crucial in setting the tone for your workday. You may feel you have too much on your mind. You may still be absorbed in an argument or in something challenging that happened before you arrived. But if you spent the time getting to work breathing mindfully and being in the present moment, you will arrive with a clear mind, and you'll be able to greet people with a warm and open smile. This is part of your job, no matter what your profession. Answering the phone. At work, many of us communicate, not just with people around us, but by email, telephone, or video conferencing. Some of us work primarily with people who aren't in the same physical space, or even in the same time zone or country. Even so, you can turn every phone conversation or email into an opportunity to practice compassionate communication. Whenever the phone rings, you can hear it as a bell of mindfulness and stop whatever you're doing. Instead of rushing to answer the phone, you can breathe in and out with awareness 3 times before answering, to make sure you're truly present for whoever is calling. Recognize any feelings of stress or irritation you may have, or any feeling that you're being interrupted. You may want to put your hand on the receiver while breathing, to let your coworkers know that you intend to pick up the phone, but you're just not in a hurry. This will help remind them that they don't need to feel like they're victims of the telephone. You can use the same practice before reading an email. At work, we often go from one email to the next without first practicing mindful breathing and making ourselves present for whatever that email has to say. If we wait until we've taken a few mindful breaths and return to being fully present before we open an email, It's true that it will take us a little longer to go through our mail, and our work might be a bit slower. But our communication with each email will be more effective, clearer, and more understanding. If you want to send an email or call someone on the phone, you might want to recite the following verse to yourself before you begin to type or to dial the number. Words can travel thousands of miles. May my words create mutual understanding and love. May they be as beautiful as gems, as lovely as flowers. Mindful meetings. Our communication in meetings can often be a source of tension, stress, and conflict at work. Sometimes we rush from one meeting to another, so we arrive already anxious or distracted. It will help to schedule a few minutes at the beginning of any meeting to sit quietly together. If people in your workplace are open to having a bell sound before the meeting begins, that sound can help everyone come back to their breathing and find some calm. If people don't want to start the meeting by sitting together quietly for a few moments, you can still arrive at the meeting a few minutes early so you have time to relax and breathe mindfully. Perhaps other people will see your example and join you the next time. You don't need to say anything or make a point of letting others know you're doing this. Just do it and enjoy the benefit it brings you. It can be helpful in setting the tone of a meeting to open with a spoken agreement that the participants will respect each other's words and be open to the views of others. If we try to impose our views on others, we only create tension and suffering at work. So, in any meeting, practice being open and listening to the experience and insight of others. If you have a wonderful idea and are eager to share it, that's good. But you shouldn't be so eager to share your ideas that you drown out the ideas of others. Invite everybody to express their ideas. Trust that the best ideas will emerge from this process as collective wisdom. During the meeting, practice using loving speech and deep listening. Follow your breathing as you listen. Let one person speak at a time without interruption. Don't get caught up in verbal duels. Speak from your own experience and address the whole group whenever you talk. If you have questions or concerns, place them in the center of the circle for the whole group to contemplate and address. This may be challenging. It is likely a new culture for conducting meetings, one that is different from the way meetings have been run in the past. You don't have to try to change the culture all at once. If everyone agrees to listen mindfully and without interruption, that is wonderful. But even if it's only you who follows these guidelines and makes a commitment to speak and listen with compassion, it will have a positive effect. Creating community at work. If you're modeling compassionate communication at work, soon others may be interested in practicing mindful breathing, sitting, and walking with you. If you're surrounded by people who are practicing mindfulness together, you'll all be supported by the collective energy, and mindful speech and deep listening will come much more easily. The more you practice mindfulness, the more you'll see things you can do to change your work environment in a positive way. When we practice mindful speech and deep listening, our way of communicating becomes a bell of mindfulness for everyone. When you walk mindfully, enjoying every step you take, this encourages others to do the same, even if they don't know that you're practicing mindfulness. When you smile, your smile supports everyone around you and also reminds others to smile. When you practice, your presence has a positive effect on you and those around you. A rock in the river. All of us have difficulties at work sometimes. We all have our own pain, sorrows, and fears. Often at work, we don't give ourselves time or space to recognize and embrace these strong emotions, so our tension comes out in unintentional ways. This can make communication difficult. But none of us needs to embrace pain and sorrow alone. When you throw a rock into a river, no matter how small the rock is, it will sink to the bottom of the river. But if you have a boat, you can carry many tons of rocks and they won't sink. The same is true of our suffering. Our sorrow, fear, worries, and pain are like rocks that can be carried by the boat of mindfulness. If we give ourselves the time and space to embrace and recognize the suffering, we won't sink into the ocean of anger, worries, or sorrow. We become lighter. We can practice mindfulness alone, but we can find more ease and joy if we can bring mindful communication into our work environments and have the support of others who are practicing mindfulness with us. Don't expect to change your work environment overnight, but if you make a diligent effort, both with yourself and with your colleagues, you're taking steps in the right direction, and that is good enough. 7. Creating
Grand Rising family, Grand Rising to another Rising Prime. Shout out to you watching now or later. Shout out to you, Liz. Hope you're waking up great. We just tapped into chapter 6 of the book, The Art of Communication by Thich Nhat Hanh. That is the book we've been reading. It's been a while since we actually did a chapter review, but I figured I should finish the book as soon as I possibly can so we can get into the next read. And I actually picked the next read. I picked Inner Engineering by Sadhguru. It's going to be very, very different than what we've read so far. I think was going to shock you and transform a lot of things if you choose to read it. Rising Prime is all about getting yourself to a peak state, peak body state, peak mental state, peak spiritual state where your emotions have either flown, been transmuted, or have just been felt. When you rise up, it's either you feel it or you transmute it, but don't run away from it. Don't ignore it. Do something about it if you can. With that being said, how do you wake up? Do you let the energies in your body just go how they want to go, or do you direct them a little bit? Do you? How do somebody want to ask me like, how do you direct? How do I direct my energy, Ed? Well, do you set intentions with your energy? Do you set where you're going to put your focus? Where your focus goes, your energy flows. I'm sure you've heard that before, right? Where your focus goes, your energy flows. So it's what you choose to put your focus on. You know, if you put your focus on certain thoughts, you get that same result. You put your focus on certain ideas, you get that same result. So we got to think about where is my focus? Where's my focus every day? What am I focusing on? So it's one of the major things is when you rise up, what you focus on when you rise up ripples through your day. So sometimes we rise up and we focus on all types of things. I found myself recently, if I'm going to be honest, when I'm rising up, focusing on social media. And that's not good because they say the first few minutes, well, not even who cares about day. I've experienced in my own life that when you take the first few minutes of your day without any social media, any influence whatsoever, and you do something breathing or whatever, you take some silence. I've personally found out that your day just goes a little bit more less, you're less intruded by other people's intentions. Right? Sometimes before we even set our own intentions, we have other people's intentions. Now, somebody says, "How about Rising Prime?" Well, Rising Prime is a concept, is a guide. So I don't wish to lead you by my intention. I just wish to share some practices with you, some exercises with you, and some motivation. One of the things that changed my life was when I rose up and I listened to motivational tapes. Um, I would listen to them and they would give me inspiration in the beginning because it would start my mind thinking a certain way because I was so negative at some point. I needed some positive vibes. I needed some positive energy. So I used to listen to motivational speakers all of the time, first thing in the rising. to just speak some life into my life, right? And did it work? Did it help me out a lot? 100%, definitely. However, we're gonna get started. I want to check in with my tribe. Liz, how you rising today? So Liz is still connecting. Um, I want to give a shout out to Liz. She's always here. She's always on the live call with me. When nobody else shows up, Liz shows up. She is the real MVP. She's top MVP of the tribe. So give Liz the flowers, and I'll send you the avocados. And avocados are good now, my friend. So I
You know, I
sent
eat one every day, right?
now, huh?
I eat one every day.
Oh, you do. So now I can send you some, so you can have it. You
I have an,
text. Um, definitely after this, send me your address, okay? Text it
all
to me.
right. I have an
Text it.
avocado addiction.
Well, that's a good addiction.
I know, right?
Good addiction. That those healthy fats. Avocado.
Yeah. I think my kids know that already. If there's half left, you better eat it that day, otherwise it goes bad.
Man, avocados and bananas, those things, man. You gotta eat them.
How you feeling today, Ed?
I'm feeling good, Liz. I, I'm great.
Good.
I'm satisfied. I'm living in my purpose. I realize that what I'm doing is really big, no matter how little I might think it is. So I feel great about that. I'm feeling very light. I'm feeling very peaceful. My energies feel settled. It's almost like I'm in a really, really good place right now. So
That's
I'm
great.
grateful.
I enjoyed that chapter of the book. I was
Yes,
driving, but I listened to it. I'm like, wow, you might have heard something similar, but just to maybe be reminded, especially when you answer the phone, to
yeah,
like readjust yourself because you could be doing something busy and you don't want that person to be getting the effects of it.
yes. Just like to be able to settle yourself before you walk in places. I love that idea. Even like before work, sitting in silence, or before this meeting, sitting in silence, before whatever you got to do, just like getting your energy, that stillness, because you bring it to people, right?
Because we
I was
all
talking.
multitask.
What was that?
We do too much. We multitask. Like my mother used to be an early bird. She'd always get somewhere like 10, 15 minutes ahead of time. She'd say to get my head together. I never understood it,
Get
but now it makes sense.
get your heart together, get your head together. Um, yeah, I think there was a lady. I was like, man, you talk so calmly, you're so peaceful. I'm like, it's because I'm cultivating that in me. You know what I'm saying? I'm loving to you because I've cultivated that in me. So it's the gift to yourself is a gift to others, pretty much. So I definitely want to tap into that chapter. We're definitely gonna review it as we're gonna review every. I'm gonna do a final stretch to review a chapter a day up until I think it's like one or two chapters left. So we finish that book, bada boom, bada beam, and then we move on to Engineering by Sadhguru. You ever heard of Sadhguru before, Liz? You know who that is?
Is he an Indian guy or am I
Yeah,
wrong?
no, Sadhguru is the Indian guy, but he's a mystic. He's a mystic. He's a spiritual teacher, and he
Yeah,
goes.
I think I listened to some of his stuff, but
Yeah, his stuff can be very. I think for me, in my eyes, I think it's very enlightening. I think it's very different,
very deep.
very very deep. And I think sometimes to be able to wear a man's glasses like that, I don't even a man's to for him to be able to expand your world to think like that, I think is very useful, no matter what your beliefs are. Because here's the thing: if your beliefs are not challenged or tested, you might be you might not be sure whether or not those beliefs are leading down the right path. So I think when somebody challenges it and you can look at both sides to come to your own conclusion, it could really catapult your growth because you say, man, I never looked at it that way. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when you can say, I never looked at it that way, that is so powerful. So looking at things a different way with Sadhguru, inner engineering. By the way, those of you watching live or later, go to edtalksdaily.com/audible, man. Put that down. edtalksdaily.com/audible. Liz already got it, so she don't even need that. With that, you're gonna get a free audiobook, and you could actually get the book, Inner Engineering by Sadhguru. Okay.
Oh, you just put that up on there?
What was that?
That's on there on the book audio?
Um, no, on audiobook on Audible. I
Yeah,
have it. I have it on my Audible.
I'm gonna
On
check it.
Hoopla. Remember
Yeah,
Hoopla? It's not on Hoopla. I don't think so.
all right. I gotta check it
But
out.
my Audible, I would share my link. It's my Amazon account, so I can't really put that information out. But I guess I'll figure out how to get it to you.
You have the name of the book written down?
It's called Inner Engineering by Sad Guru.
All right.
Let me write that.
Just want to write that down.
Okay. You know, it's good to start reading it now. Um, Listening to it. No, this is a book you listen to. Okay, not a book you read. By the way, I keep mentioning audiobook. Inner Engineering by Sad Guru is a book you listen to, not a book you read. Why? Because it's lengthy one, and it's better that you hear it because it just has it has a different effect that I think is way more powerful than reading it.
I like the name of it. Inner engineering.
So yeah, the concept of inner engineering is that you have you are technology, right? Inside of you there is a way that if you learn how to manage you got the manual to yourself, to your own body, to your own spirit, or your structure. If you knew how it worked, then you can actually create bliss within you, create heaven within you rather than constantly experiencing hell. So the author really talks about, he breaks down certain identities that we've created for ourselves and how those identities are ruling our lives, and we think we're living a life but we're living an identity. So then he breaks it down to say, hey, life doesn't, it's not what happens outside of you, it's really how you're happening inside. And if you want to create joy, if you want to create happiness, if you want to create all of these positive emotional states and reside in gratitudes and things like that, then it's important to do the inner engineering. Some people, like yesterday when we were talking about shadow work, we he's talking about inner engineering, more of learning the technology of how to engineer inside of you a certain way to experience life the best. Whereas shadow work is going to the past to see what has led to where you're at, and efforts of trying to heal the kid from the past. Inner engineering is being in the present and understanding that from this moment on, with this level of consciousness, that you can actually create within you the environment that will foster joy. Is the result of the environment you create inside of you. Gratitude is the environment that you're creating, and in being grateful, then you have results. So how to engineer your insides, read the book Inner Engineering. I may have butchered his summary, but I think that's kind of like a gist I've gotten from Sadhguru. Is it is within you, okay? All of it is within you, and it's how you create, it's how you experience life within that really matters. That being said, we're gonna do the body drumming. We've been doing body drumming all week, as you know, Liz, and it's because we're solidifying the routine so that way you can remember it, you can memorize it, you can use it, you can benefit from it. So body drumming, aka Paida, is a ancient Chinese method of releasing stagnation and allowing your blood to flow. This helps reduce inflammation, releases pain and tension from your body. So it turns out there are specific meridians that are active throughout specific times of the day. And it so happens that the upper body, the arm, have the heart, the lung, and the pericardium meridians. And we do the body drumming. We jump up and down the arm, right? We jump underneath our armpit where our lymph glands are, right? We drum the entire body. We massage our necks. We massage the face. We drum the head, all types of different things. Okay, so body drumming is one of the most effective ways to just wake yourself up. So Liz, let me ask you a question. You ready to wake up? You ready to wake up?
I'm ready.
Liz says she already up. Come on. Liz said, man, what you talk about? I'm up already. I'm up, man. I'm up. I'm grateful. And I'm showing up as my best self every single day.
That inner alarm clock.
Yes, we don't need it. We don't need an alarm clock.
Nope.
Life wakes us up. Our dreams wakes us up. By the way, tomorrow is a full moon day.
Oh my God.
Liz, what do you do on the full moons?
I don't know. I try to behave.
What you said, you be going through it during the full moons, you experience.
Yeah, I try to calm down and behave. I try to be aware that there's a full moon. And I tell myself, all right, discipline.
So I mean, on these full moons, if you notice, like, why don't you set a ritual for yourself or something that you can do to just let your energies to release certain emotions, to do certain things. So
That's
instead of
true.
constraint, have a practice around it.
What do you do?
So lately I've been I've been journaling, meditating, and I've been tackling some issues in my own life on the full moon day. And every full moon is a different theme, and I feel like it's an evolution. So in fact, I feel like on the full moons I didn't have to do much. The moon did it for me. I just, instead of running away from what the moon kind of like showed that's happening within me, I delve into it. So it's not like I did something completely different. I just felt the emotion, the energies in motion that's happening within me around the full moon. And what I did was I just experienced them. I just dealt with them. I just let them communicate what I needed to do. Right. The last full moon, that there was a theme that came up. It was the day I was in Miami Beach. Some crazy stuff happened. That taught me a big lesson. The full moon after that was around family. I can say that by the next full moon, I've already handled the issue that came last full moon. Every single month, it's like you do a monthly review. Every single month, the full moon brings up certain emotions to say, hey, review it, look at it again, or heal from it, or like, this is what's happening within you. Do you want to, is this how you want this heightening emotion to be in you all the time? So what have I been doing during these full moons? I've been outside. I've been meditating. I've been doing the work, right? And I've also utilized certain things to tap into my third eye. If I said that wrong, forgive me. I've been doing certain things to tap into my inner wisdom, to tap into my subconscious. And that has really worked in helping me progress and heal over time. So I use every full moon as my own personal retreat.
I'm going to be mindful and see what comes up.
Be mindful, see what comes up, and deal with it if you can.
In a calm way.
Well, sometimes the energies that might come to you may not be calm.
No, that's
And
true.
no, the last two full moons, I experienced heightened energy that was not calm, that was very anxious, like that got my body all types of ways, right?
That's what usually happens.
Right.
It's something like crazy. That's why
So
I'm going to think through it so that I know what's going on.
I'd say breathe through it.
Breathe through it. Actually, I'm going to use your breathing exercises to get through it.
I think she going it through it. I think affirm yourself through it might be better. Because I thinking through it only gonna get you in a rabbit hole. Trust
me. Don't think.
All right.
Do qigong 3 times that day.
Heal.
I'm going to heal through it. That's it.
Yes. And you're gonna think by circumstance, because you can't stop that. You're gonna think anyway. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be thinking anyway. Just that's just how the game goes. You think you're human, but let's get it. So full moon day.
How's your weather over there? The weather's been crazy.
It's been a little hot, but not too shabby.
How about the rain?
The rain has calmed down a bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because we
It
get
hasn't been raining too much here.
yeah, on and off rain.
So a good full moon ritual that you can actually do is think about certain things you want to eradicate from your life, write them on the paper and burn them, right? Write some things you want to speak into your life, right? Set them in stone, speak them into existence with high emotional um charge, right? There's some couple of things you can do during the full moon. So this full moon is in Aquarius, right? And a lot of us, we have a lot of things we want to do for the world, for other people. So maybe take some time to really sit within yourself and have some emotional separation from all the people that you want to help and do things for. Really hone in into your own being and see your vision within your own mind and see where you want to go from here, how you want to grow, how you want to expand your being out there. So sometimes you have to step back to step in so you can really step out. Let me say that again for those of you who did catch me. Sometimes you have to step back to step in so you can step out. You heard that? Sometimes you got to step back to step in so you can step out. Which means you got to step back from all these things you're dealing with, step into yourself so that way you can step out and do the work. Because when you're in it, sometimes you can't see what you're in. You can't see what you're in, and you got to look at it from a different perspective. Shake your hand to move your cheek. Shake your hand. Show me what you're working with. Shake your hand. Move your cheek. Shake your hand. Show me what you're working with. Drum the sky, side to side. Cheek gone, side to side. Now drum the sky, side to side. Cheek gone, side to side. Now drum the earth, side to side. Cheek gone, side to side. Now drum the earth, side to side. Cheek gone, side to side. Now shake them to the side, side to side. Cheek gone, side to side. Now shake them to the side, side to side. Cheek gone, side to side. Now shake them up. Move your cheek. Shake them up. Show me what you're working with. Shake them up. Move your cheek. Shake them up. Show me what you're working with. Now lean back. Now drum your lungs side to side. Cheek gone side to side. Now drum your lungs side to side. Cheek gone side to side. Now lean forward. Now drum your kidneys side to side. Cheek gone side to side. Now drum your kidneys side to side. Cheek gone side to side. Now thump your chest. Time to stump. Cheek gone side to side. Now thump your chest. Time to stump. Cheek gone side to side. Now side to side. Cheek gone side to side. Now single bump side to side. Cheek gone side to side. Now right hand jing. Right hand jing. Left hand cheese. Right hand shin. Left hand cheese. Right hand jing. Left hand cheese. Right hand shin. Left hand cheese. Jing. Cheese. Shin. Cheese. Jing. Cheese. Shin. Cheese. Jing. Cheese. Shin. Cheese. Jing. Cheese. Shin. Cheese. Heart. Lung. Liver. Spleen. Right kidney. Left kidney. Jing. Cheese. Heart. Lung. Liver. Spleen. Right kidney, left kidney, Jing, Qi, heart, lung, liver, spleen, right kidney, left kidney, Jing, Qi, heart, lung, liver, spleen, liver, spleen, liver, right kidney, left kidney, right kidney, left kidney, Jing, Qi, Jing, Qi, liver, spleen, liver, spleen, liver, right kidney, left kidney, right kidney, left kidney, Jing, Qi, Jing, Qi, heart, lung, liver, spleen, liver, spleen, liver. Let's go. Right kidney, left kidney, right kidney, left kidney, Jing, Qi, Jing, Qi, heart, lung, liver, spleen, right kidney, left kidney, Jing, Qi, heart, lung, liver, spleen, right kidney, left kidney, Jing, Qi, heart, lung, liver, spleen, right kidney, left kidney, Jing, Qi, heart, lung, liver, spleen, kidney, Qi, kidney, Jing, heart, lung, liver, spleen, kidney, Qi, kidney, Jing, heart, lung, liver, spleen, heart, lung, liver, spleen, kidney, Qi, kidney, Jing, heart, lung, liver, spleen, kidney, Qi, kidney, Jing, heart, lung, liver, spleen, kidney, Qi, kidney, Jing, heart, lung, liver, spleen, kidney, Qi, kidney, Jing. Blue Dragon, Qigong. So that's the Qigong anatomy drumming. So you can get in touch with your organs, literally. Get in touch with them. If you love your kid, what you gonna do? You gonna make sure you pat their head. You gonna touch them. You gonna say, "How you doing?" You gonna hug them. You love your friends. You gonna hug them. You gotta touch your organs, because those are your friends. Those are your children. Those are your kids. So you gotta touch your body, drum your body, work your body. Okay, that's right. So now we're gonna do. Now that we do the anatomy drumming, after we do the anatomy drumming, we do the body drumming. That's what we're gonna do now. So next up, we're gonna pat up the arm and pat down. Okay. So you're gonna bring your arms down, pat up, with the palms facing down. Then you're gonna bring the palms facing up, and you're gonna pat down. So you're gonna pat up your arm, then turn, pat down your arm. Pat up your arm with the palm facing down, then pat down your arm. Pat up your arm, turn, pat down. One more time, pat up your arm. Turn, pat down. Last time, pat up your arm. Turn, pat down. Next, we're gonna drum your legs. You're gonna drum your legs down and up. Make sure you drum the hamstring, the side of your leg, and inside of the leg. So go behind your leg. Then bring your arms, after you're done drumming the legs, you're gonna bring your arm up. You're gonna hit underneath the armpit 4 times. You're gonna hit at the groin 4 times. You're gonna go back on the opposite armpit. Then at the groin again. Armpit, 2, 3, 4. Groin, 2, 3, 4. Armpit, 2, 3, 4. Groin, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now you're gonna put your hands together, generate some heat. Now you're gonna put your hand on your face. You're gonna palm your eye with it. So this, when you put your hand on your eyes like this heat from your palm goes towards your eyelid, and the tiny blood vessels are then relieved. So you release stagnation by touching your eye with your palm. So this is very useful to clear your vision, for clear vision. If it gets cold, do it one more time. So we're working the various senses by massaging and sending heat. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Now you're gonna use your thumb and your index to pinch the bottom of your eye socket. Okay, so you're gonna have the finger right underneath here, and then one at the top. And you're gonna pinch. You're gonna pinch. Just like that. You're gonna pinch your eye. See, that slight pinch is gonna increase that blood flow, release stagnation. Okay, doing this every day is really effective for your vision. You go to the eye doctor, they know their stuff, they're gonna suggest this. Now do the top. Dig underneath the bottom of the eye socket and pinch with the thumb on the top. Okay, so you're pinching the top of the eye. So after you're done pinching, you're gonna go here at the corner of your eye. You're gonna squeeze. You're gonna squeeze it like that. Okay. Now you're gonna take your side of your hand and scrape your nose. So once again, this is the rising routine that you can remember how to do and do it on your own every time you wake up or anytime you feel like you need to refresh. So you scrape the side of your nose. This helps clears out your sinuses. The next one is going to be a little bit more effective in clearing out your sinuses. All you do is you're going to put 2 fingers at the nostril, 2 fingers at the trachea, and you just rotate forward. So it looks like this. Index, middle, like that, and then you can cover it with your hand while you rotate forward like this. So you're hitting 2 spots, okay? And by doing that, you should feel mucus clearing out your sinuses. So you're waking up this rising, your mucus is all acting up. You're like, man, I can't breathe. Just do this, okay? Might look weird or feel weird, but it works. You're gonna start feeling some of that mucus coming out, so have a napkin or something if you're gonna need it. So this is gonna clear out your sinuses, okay? Very easy for anybody to do. You put 2 fingers here, 2 fingers there, and you rotate forward. So there's pollen in the air. So those of you with allergies and all that stuff, you might be your nose might be getting stuff. Hey Daisha, how you doing? Shout out to Daisha for watching. So here's what you're gonna do. Scrape your nose again with the side of your hand. Grand rising, everybody. Okay, so now we did smell. Okay, now we're gonna work with taste. Okay, so you're gonna rotate your jaw to the left, okay, or your mouth, like this. It looks like this. All right, so if your jaw is locked, stuck, all types of stuff, this is very useful. I'm doing great. I'm blessed and highly favored. Now go the opposite way. You're gonna rotate your jaw the opposite way, or your mouth the opposite way. So you should feel that realignment. Now you have about 32 teeth, give or take a few wisdom tooth. You're gonna click your teeth about 32 times. That will stimulate certain meridians and help with certain organs. So you're just gonna click your teeth. Click them teeth. So after you click your teeth 32 times, you're going to now swap your mouth. So it turns out your spit is very valuable, like gold. Like your spit is gold because your spit has digestive enzymes. Those digestive enzymes help you process and digest your food. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna swap your mouth like you turn your tongue into a cotton swab. Swap above and then inside. And then you're gonna swallow your spit. Okay, so this is gonna help you just clear out, bring some of that digestive enzyme, sensory awareness of your mouth. Okay, so now the next thing we're gonna do is open up the mouth, and you're gonna massage the jawline. Okay, you're gonna open and close as you massage the where the jaw meets, open and closing. So massage your jaw, open and closing your mouth. If you yarn with it, you might feel a better relief just by yawning. Oh, like that. All right. So after you massage your jawline, you should feel better release. Now go towards the bottom of the ear. Keep massaging that. That's gonna lead to massaging your neck. Okay. So now work your way towards the neck. Use two hands to massage it. So now just you're gonna squeeze the SCM. Just massage up and down your neck. Now work your way towards the back of your neck. And just drum the base of your neck. All right. Just keep massaging your neck. Drum the base of your skull, my bad. And then now, the next one is cranial tap. Now you're going to tap your cranial, which is your head. Cranial nerves in your head. You have something called cranial nerves, which has to do also with the vagus nerves, which they have the vagus ideas of what they're capable of. So you can drum your head like that. And then scratch on the side of your head. So this is called memory brush. Because what? The temporal lobe will massage the side of your head like that. And the next one is you put 2 fingers on your temple. Take that off. And you just do a rotational forward, of course. Right? You should start feeling a little relaxation, right? Like you at the spa or at a massage parlor. And you getting a little massage. So you're just going to put your hand at your temple. And you just rotate forward. Feel that. Feels good. Now clench your fingers together, pull apart. And then now, next, you're going to start with the back of the earlobe. You're going to massage the back of the earlobe with your thumb, which represents the spine. Just work your way up. Massage from the back of the ear. Now you're gonna work on the top. So there's the outer layer, which is this. You're gonna do that first. You're gonna squeeze and pull the top of the ear, not the ridge, but the outer layer, the perimeter, whatever you call that. And then here there's a ridge right next to that. You're gonna use 2 fingers at the ridge, squeeze, and do the same. Follow along the path. Okay, now there's a little hollow in between the ridge and the big surface area. You're gonna put your index finger in there and just cotton swab it, like I like to say. There's a larger surface area. You're gonna put your hand in there, just squeeze and do a circle. Okay. Then now there's the tragus, hunger and thirst point. You're gonna pinch and pull out the tragus. And then the earlobe, which represents the brain, you're just gonna pinch and pull down the earlobe. Okay, so that concludes all of the facial massage. Okay, And to conclude the qigong portion of the class, we're gonna do one more dance. We're gonna do, and then we're gonna be done with qigong. And then I'm gonna do the quick book review of the chapter. Bada boom, bada bing, so I can have it as a replay for the tribes and everybody else who want to tap in. And then we'll be done. So if you're watching on YouTube or Instagram and you're wondering what this is Rise and Prime, y'all. This is one of the best ways to get your day started with a positive, powerful rising routine that includes breathing, meditation, affirmations, personal development. We're reading books that have to do with your spiritual development. So this community is your holistic health support group to help you transform, to help you heal, to help you discover peace that's within you and cultivate it. So I teach you certain exercises called qigong, which are self-healing exercises that will bring a lot of peace to you. We house emotional states in our bodies, in our muscle tissues. And unless we know how to let these emotions flow out, especially with the full moon coming around, you might find yourself in a frenzy. Okay? So by having a community like this, you're able to do the work to constantly refresh those emotional states, or transmute them. Okay? To transmute those emotional states. This next dance is qigong exercises sped up to music. Okay. This next dance is qigong exercises sped up to music. So before we begin, we have to understand that, like, your body is a temple, and how you treat it is going to determine your level of heaven that you experience. Okay? And the tools that you use are usually a lot of tools of gratitude and praise to keep your temple sound. What do I mean by gratitude, praise? When we are in a state of love, a state of appreciation and gratitude and praise, when we're thankful for everything, we're automatically creating heaven within us, right? Because we are grateful for everything. So how can we? It's hard to lack anything. When we're grateful, lack doesn't almost does not exist, even if you lack anything, because you're like, man, I feel like I got everything. You ever found yourself you was about to say, I'm grateful for this thing, and then whatever else that was like, I don't have, you kind of said, oh, it don't really matter. That's because it's hard to be grateful and demanding of all of these things, because you actually realize, man, I got it. Praise is another way. Somebody says, how do I praise? Just be joyful, dance, sing, be happy, do things that give praise. Praise by the way you look at things. When you change the way you look at things, what you look at change. What you look at change. So you might be looking at one thing right now, and you're like, this is it, this is what's happening. But if you change the way you look at it, it'll change. If you change the way you look at things, what you look at will change. That's just a way of saying, when you change your perspective, when you change the way that you see things, when you refine your lens, you start to see different things. Okay, so soon we're gonna do the chapter review. The only unfortunate thing about the chapter review is you watching on IG. I can't do the review with you watching on IG. I have to get my phone. So what you need to do is go to my YouTube, The Holistic Motivator. Go on my YouTube. Book review is gonna be fire, and you'll be able to watch it. So if you're watching on Instagram, I'm about to go on my YouTube. Go to my YouTube to be able to watch the interview. I'm trying to do the dance with y'all. My computer is not working for me. It is what it is. So once again, Instagram, I want to keep rocking with y'all, but I need my phone. So I'm about to tap into a powerful book review, and I said go to my YouTube to do the book review. Okay, because we're gonna be talking about the book The Art of Communication, chapter 6. All right, Instagram. Peace. All right, we just gonna have to roll with the flow. Whatever happens, we don't let it frustrate us. Just keep moving. Song not pulling up. We're just gonna do the chapter review right now. So, if you haven't been reading the book yet, make sure you check the book. The Art of Communication by Thich Nhat Hanh is a very useful book in learning how to communicate to yourself and others. Okay. So now I'm gonna pull up the I'm gonna pull up the actual book, so that way we can actually look at it, review it, talk about it, and add some value to you that way. Okay. So, Grand Rising, everybody watching now or later. My name is Edward Jazz, aka the Holistic Motivator. This is the introduction to Chapter 6 of the book, The Art of Communication by Thich Nhat Hanh. And I want to make sure that you know what's going on. We've been reading this book for the last couple of months, and we're now on Chapter 6, Mindful Communication at Work. This chapter just talks to you how to be a little bit how to mindfully communicate while you're at work. So the chapter begins by saying that successful communication begins before we even arrive at our jobs. Often on our way to work, as we drive, bike, take the train, ride the bus, we focus on what we have to do when we arrive or something we didn't finish. So the author says, instead of don't get to the place until you get there. And I thought that's really powerful. What the author is saying is, why do you need to be at work before you even at work? Why don't you stay in the process of getting there and hone in your own peace, get inside of you, breathe, so that way when you get there, you're able to be there and you're not your mood. What if you could bring your spirit and your being to your work and not your mood? Wouldn't that be very effective for you, rather than being moody all the time at work? What if it was your spirit that showed up? What if it was your love that showed up? Wouldn't that be more amazing? Not even just work. I'm talking about life. I'm talking about school. I'm talking about all types of things, not just work now. Wouldn't that be amazing if that can be you? So think about that. So the way you think about your work and your work relationships affects how you communicate in your work environment. So a lot of times we're frustrated for work. We're like, man, these people, I don't even want to deal with them. Right? But what if you looked at them as humans? What if you looked at them as other sentient beings like you are, as other people who are going through this life experience just like you? Wouldn't you have a little bit more compassion for them? You know, the way that you see, like when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So if you start changing the way you look at your work environment, the work environment will start changing. Even when you really realize the matrix of it all, that hey, I'm just here as a number to make this company money, you can also see that you're adding value to somebody's life whether or not you make the money. Because when you show up to work, you might not be necessarily, you might in your own mind, you might be thinking about this. You might say to yourself, hey, what's the point of all of this? Right? What's the point of all of this? Like, what does this even do for me? Hey, what's the point? But you are adding value because you're providing a service to somebody else, or you're helping somebody get a product that they need. So you are adding value. So that in itself can say, hey, listen, How can I communicate well in my environment so I can enjoy myself more and add value to other people? Be more compassionate and understand that you are a great benefit to others, even if that job that you're in is not necessarily one you want to be. Next up, it says when you're in a work environment, you use mindful and compassionate speech. You are offering the best of yourself. If we can combine our insights and experiences, the collective insight will bring about the wisest decision. Listen, sometimes we're not compassionate at all at work. We are triggered by everything a boss or a worker says. Everything triggers us. And out of that, we're just triggered. And people wondering, why are you so pissed off? I'm not pissed at you. I'm pissed at this place. So a lot of times we're pissed at everybody at work, not even because we're pissed at them, because we pissed out about life. We pissed out about our work. We just can't do it anymore, and that's coming out on them. So if you could settle that energy before you go, think about how pleasant you can be. And if your work takes a large portion of your life, how much time does your work take out of your life? Because your work takes a nice little portion. It takes a nice little segment. It takes a nice little piece of your life, which means the best you can do is at least enjoy it if you can. And if you can't enjoy the work, you can at least enjoy the people. And that's the thing, employees, a lot of people, their strongest relationships, their friendships, some of the people that they really, really like or deal with are people they work with, because that's about one of the social places they go to. And one of the face, you see their face every day. Like, I don't want to see your face, but I kind of have to, because it's your shift. I don't want to take your shit, but it's your shift, so I'm taking your shit with the shift. So you're like, man, I got to shift myself out of there. So, but what if while you're there, you could create a certain formula, a certain energy within you where you can breathe, where you can bring certain peace and love to the place, that no matter how they are, it doesn't affect how you are. No matter how they respond, it doesn't affect your response, because you are cultivating within you a zen self. So many workplaces are categorized by daily stress. So we need to set up spaces at work to practice mindful breathing. Here's the thing. How many times do you mindfully breathe at work? Do you ever mindfully breathe at work? This is a question. Or do you just passively do what you do? Let me ask you, if you mindfully breathe at work, wouldn't it make it more enjoyable? Because you'd be more, you're instead of being in a high stressful environment, operating in your sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight, you would be operating in your parasympathetic nervous system, which is not fight or flight, which is very rest and digest. So rest and digest is when you're like, I'm working, but I'm just flowing through the work. You can work and flow through the work. So Liz, is there any moment in your life, in your work, where you started breathing more consciously, and it kind of helped you?
Yeah, when I get stressed out, I go outside, I do my breathing.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So when in fact, before you even get stressed out, consciously breathe. So somebody pisses you off, what do you do? Breathe. Somebody don't piss you off, what do you do? Breathe. You're stressed, what do you do? Breathe. You got to do it anyways. You're not stressed, what do you do? Consciously breathe. The thing is, you're going to breathe automatically, or else you'll be dead. But breathe consciously. That's where I want to get to. So what if there was a way where before your meetings, you can breathe and collect as a collective, whether or not you have a team, you're an entrepreneur, you have a team, you breathe with your team, you meditate with your team, you do the routine with your team. What if you could actually do that? What if you can do it with your coworkers? What if you're the manager and you have a say in that, and you can say, hey, let's do some of that. And then some people say, I don't want to do it, boom, boom, boom. You let them be them. But if you can get enough people on board on this zenness, it'll make the ship much more peaceful. Because stress is not just happening within them. There's an energy to stress. The energy to stress shows up in people's faces. Somebody says, I like you, but I don't like your face, because your face stresses me out. That's because you can feel that energy, and their aura, their space is bringing it onto you. If somebody is like hyperventilating, moving all, you can feel that. So the more you can help your coworkers, the more you can help yourself. But you can't help anybody that doesn't want to be helped. But if it's integrated in the culture, if you can suggest it, if you can recommend it, why not? So guess what? Don't take this Zen stuff and say, I'm gonna use it all for me. Share it. It'll be better off. You'll be better off. So the author asks, what is the first thing you do when you arrive at work? Do you smile at people you see? Do you greet them? The tone of the workday. What do you do when you get to work? How's your face? You got the RBF face going on? Or do you got the I'm alive face? You got the smile face. You got the, come on, I got the love and light face. I'm awoke face. What face you got? So
I'm
sometimes you
alive.
might, well, I'm alive. You got that beautiful smile on you, Liz?
I'm alive. Put the music on. Let's
That's,
move.
that's right. That's right. That's the only way. You got to come up with that liveness energy, that living energy. So if you whatever you absorbed the night before, rise and prime it. Man, I wish this was on IG, man. Whatever you absorbed the night before, rise and prime it out of your body. And if you didn't get the chance while you're in the car, make sure you breathe it out of your body. Right? It says, at work, many of us communicate not just with the people around us, but by email, telephone, or video conference. As we can see, this is Zoom. And the Zoom culture now is becoming more and more prevalent. Some of us work primarily with people who are in the same physical space or even in the same time zone or country. Even so, you can turn every phone conversation or email to an opportunity to practice compassionate communication. Whenever the phone rings, listen to this, whenever the phone rings, you can hear it as a bell of mindfulness to stop what you're doing. Instead of rushing to answer the phone, you can breathe in out with awareness 3 times before answering to make sure you're truly present. So the phone rings, ring, 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 ring. Let that be a sign. Take some time to breathe, like an alarm. So don't go, oh, let me go answer it. Take some time to breathe. Set an intention. What is my intention? And then now, while you release, or even if you don't have an intention, say, oh, okay, I'm going to give this person my best self, my present, whatever you're going to say. So that way, you're able to be truly present. That's a great tip by the author. Okay? And if you're, ever somebody call you, but you're frustrated they called you, like, why did this person call me right now? Don't even answer the phone if you're going to be like that. At least take a couple of seconds to let that energy flow out of you, because it's going to show. You're going to hear it, and they might give it right back to you, and you're not going to like it sometimes. So recognize any feeling of stress or irritation you may have. Put your hand on the receiver while breathing to let your coworkers that you intend to pick up on the phone and you're not in a hurry. Okay. So same thing when you're reading an email. Same thing when you're reading. If you send an email or call someone on the phone, you might want to recite the following verse to yourself before you type in or dial the number. Words can travel thousands of miles. Words can travel thousands of miles. May my words create a mutual understanding and love. May they be as beautiful as gems and as lovely as flowers. That is a beautiful thing to say before you have a conversation with someone. May my words create mutual understanding and love. May they be as beautiful as gems, as lovely as flowers. And you're ready to talk to them. Think about that. Talking to any loved ones, talking to anyone you care about, to say that, to say, may my words create mutual understanding and love. May they be as beautiful as gems, as lovely as flowers. Our communication in meetings can often be a source of tension, stress, and conflict at work. Sometimes we rush from one meeting to another. We arrive anxious and distracted. It will help to schedule a few minutes at the beginning of any meeting to sit quietly together. If people in your workplace are open to having a bell sound before the meeting begins, the sound can everyone come back to their breathing and find some calm. If people don't want to start the meeting by sitting together, you can arrive at the meeting a few minutes early so you can have time to relax and breathe mindfully. So basically, the author is saying it is very good to have a meeting and start it off with an intention of peace. Let's breathe. Let's relax. But if they don't want to do it, that should not stop you. This is the theme. Do it for you, even when they don't want to do it. It can be helpful to set the tone of the meeting, to have a spoken agreement. The participants will respect each other's words, even when you have no one-on-one. Hey, I want to talk to you about this. Let's respect each other's opinions. Let's agree to disagree. Let's respect each other's words. Let's not try to impose views on. Let me not try to impose my views on you, and don't try to impose my views. Let me hear you out while you hear me out. And if we do not agree, let's agree to disagree, or let's agree to just be. Because I'm not trying to be right and make you wrong. I'm just trying to show you my truth so you can wear my lens for a little bit. You don't have to turn those glasses into your vision, but at least you can wear my lens for a little bit. You can see the life in yellow. So during the meeting, practice using loving speech and deep listening. Follow your breathing as you listen. Let one person speak at a time without interruption. Don't get caught up in verbal duels. Speak from your own experience and address the whole group whenever you talk. If you have questions or concerns, place them in the center of the circle for the whole group to contemplate and address. This may be challenging. It is likely a new culture for conducting meetings, one that is different from the way meetings have been run in the past. You don't have to try to change the culture all at once. If everyone agrees to listen mindfully and without interruption, that is wonderful. But even if only two of you follow these guidelines and makes a commitment to speak and listen with compassion, it will have a positive effect. If you're modeling compassionate communication at work, soon others may be interested in practicing mindful breathing, sitting, and walking with you. If you're surrounded by people who are practicing mindfulness together, you'll be supported and deep listening will come much more easily. The more you practice mindfulness, the more you see things you can do to change your work environment in a positive way. When we practice mindful speech and deep listening, our way of communicating becomes a bell of mindfulness for everyone. When you walk mindfully, enjoying every step you take, this encourages others to do the same, even if they don't know what you're practicing, that you're practicing mindfulness. When you smile, your smile supports everyone around you and reminds others to smile. When you practice, your presence has a positive effect on you and those around you. All of those difficulties at work sometimes, all of us have difficulties at work sometimes. We have our own pain, sorrows, and fears. Often at work, we don't give ourselves time or space to recognize and embrace those strong emotions. So our tensions come out in unintentional ways. This can make communication difficult. Tension coming out in unintentional ways is when you don't communicate your intention. When you don't communicate your intention, tension comes out in unintentional ways. Instagram quote. Let me write that one down. When you don't communicate your intention, tension comes out in unintentional ways. So what I mean by that is when you're not in tune with what you're really trying to communicate and how you feel within you didn't even take the time to breathe. Sometimes the internal tension becomes something that you do or say, and it affects that whole conversation and it can break it or make it. So you got to give yourself time to recognize and embrace strong emotions. If you do it every day, you won't have to do it at the moment of the conversation because it's already done. It's a constant renewal of the mind. Okay. Liz, you had something you wanted to say?
I'm sorry about the interruption.
No, no, I want to hear. I want to talk with you, Liz. Go ahead.
I apologize. On my computer. I'm trying to get off the computer
Oh, you good? You good?
because I had to
I
take
just
a call and I got messed up.
says
But
you good. You good?
that was very helpful what you were saying. I mean, like the whole chapter. I really enjoyed it.
Yes. Yeah. I think this chapter is everybody. Everybody needs to read this chapter.
Yeah, it makes you think. It makes you stop.
Hmm. To be more mindful in communicating at work. That's what it says here. None of us, we need to embrace that pain and sorrow alone. If you throw a rock in a river, no matter how small the rock is, it'll sink to the bottom of the river. But if you Have a boat, you can carry many tons of rocks and they won't sink. The same true is for our suffering. Our sorrow, fears, worries, and pains are like rocks that can be carried by the boat of mindfulness. If we give ourselves the time and space to embrace and recognize the suffering, we don't sink into the ocean of anger, worries, and sorrow. We become lighter. We can practice mindfulness alone, but we can find more ease and joy if we bring it together at work. If we bring mindful communication into our work environment and have the support of others who are practicing mindfulness with us. Don't expect to change your work environment overnight, but if you make a diligent effort to practice compassionate communication, both with yourself and your colleagues, you're taking the steps in the right direction, and that is enough. So, Liz, I know you've transformed the way you've been at work in relation to how you deal with customers, how you deal with the rowdiness of the customers and their expectations. How has that affected your workspace? How has your growth affect the collective so that at least somebody watching here can say, hey, look how Liz is doing the work. They'll be inspired to say, hey, I can change up like that. You have a testimony at all you want to share with us?
Well, it's everything. It's work and home. Like at home, I try to sit in my car before I come inside, so that I'm not bringing work to home, home to work, or whatever's going on with your emotions. You don't want to bring it everywhere you go. You want to stop yourself for a minute, and that takes a lot, but it's important.
Yes,
Very.
separating. So how about at work? How have you have anything transformed for you? Have you seen any changes?
Yeah, I don't let people take my energy anywhere. That could be anywhere, not even at work. I just try not to let somebody else's energy reflect on me. I bring happiness. If sorry, I'm not saying everybody has a bad mood, but I try to lift the spirits. I want someone to lift my spirits if I'm sad.
So what you do is you say, hey, how can I be a blessing today? How can I bring this energy I've cultivated wherever I go, not just work, home,
Exactly.
the grocery
Exactly.
store,
Bring
everywhere.
good energy.
Carry
Try to
the
get rid of that negative energy.
carry the light wherever you go.
Exactly. Perfectly said.
That's right. So Liz, I know you're in the car, but we're gonna do the dance. Whoever's want to do it, and then we're gonna close out the session. Okay?
Okay.
Qigong is moving slow, even though my life is fast. Qigong makes me flow so that I can last. Give healing energy a chance.
All right.
Express Qigong.
Let's get
through
it.
Your dance. Put your hands on your hips. Put your hands on your hips. Side to side, Qigong. Side to side, Qigong.
Now hula to the left, side to side. Hula to the left, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now hula to the right, side to side. Hula to the right, side to side. Qigong, side to side.
Now bend your knees
And dip, spank, dip, spank, dip, spank, dip, spank, dip, spank. Now roller skate. Qigong, now roller skate. Qigong, now roller skate. Qigong, now roller skate. Now dip, spank, dip, spank, dip, spank, dip, spank. Now backward skate. Qigong, now backward skate. Qigong, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now Harlem shake to the front. Harlem shake to the front. Qigong, now Harlem shake to the front. Harlem shake to the front. Qigong, now Harlem shake to the front. Harlem shake to the front. Qigong, now Harlem shake to the rear. Harlem shake to the rear. Qigong, Harlem shake to the rear. Harlem shake to the rear. Qigong, now hands to the sides and bounce.
Now arms to the sides. And bounce now arms to the sides. And bounce now arms to the sides. Now bounce now fly to the sky. Qigong now fly to the sky.
Qigong, now fly to the sky. Now open your heart, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now open your heart, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now open your heart, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now open your heart,
side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now lift your lungs, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now lift your lungs, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now lift your lungs, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now loosen your liver, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now loosen your liver, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now loosen your liver, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now loosen your liver, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now rub your belly, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now rub your belly, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now rub your belly, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now rub your belly, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now bend from the waist, side to side. Ball of chi in your hands. Now clean your kidneys, side to side. Clean your kidneys, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Bend from the waist, side to side. Ball of chi in your hands. Clean your kidneys, side to side. Clean your kidneys, side to side. Qigong, side to side.
Qigong. To your
You've
spine.
been warned, you've been told, don't get sick, don't get old. When you get no sleep and do not breathe, it robs you of your energy. Find your joy, find your peace. Qigong, 7 days a week. Put Qigong in your game, and your life will never be the same. You want to make a change in your life, you got to give up the vice. Give up the coffee, the smoke, the soda, and give up the coke. We got to change the way we eat, the way we sleep, and the way we treat each other. Qigong, make a better life for yourself.
Qigong. Make a better life for yourself. Well,
Put Qigong in your game and your life will never be the same. Qigong is what I need so that I can breathe.
that concluded the Qigong dance. Also, our book review for chapter 7 or 6 of the book is also completed. Mindful communication at work. And next, we're going to be talking about creating community in the world with chapter 7 and of the book, The Art of Communication. That's tomorrow. We'll talk about that. We're going to read it. And on Monday, we're going to do our communications, our continuation. And then we're going to do the following 9 practices for compassionate communication. And then we'll start the next book, which is Inner Engineering by Sadhguru. Once again, you need a free audio book. Go to edtalksdaily.com/audible. With that being said, this week is the preparation week for our 21 days detox. I'm going to, starting on Monday, we're going to be doing the letting go, week 1. Starting next week after that, we're going to be doing the fast. Third week after that, we're going to be breaking the fast and transitioning to a plant-based diet if you want to go that route, or transforming your diet or your lifestyle, per se, if I may say. So be on the lookout for those. And with that being said, this concludes Rise and Prime. We're just going to do some affirmations. I'm not going to write them down, but I'm going to say a couple of affirmations. Liz, you can say them with me. You don't have to repeat them. I'm going to say them. You can say your own too. I'll repeat after you, you repeat after me, but I'll repeat with you when you repeat, because there's only 2 of us, so we're just winging it. So my first affirmation is, I am mindfully communicating at work, at home, and everywhere I go. I am mindfully communicating at work, at home, and everywhere I go.
Everywhere I go.
I am mindfully communicating at work, at home, and everywhere I go. I listen to hear and feel the other person's perspective and not to respond. I listen to hear and feel the other person's perspective and not to respond. When I communicate with others, I listen to hear and feel the other person's perspective and not to respond.
I communicate with others. I listen and feel without responding.
I am letting go of my need to be right. I am letting go of my need to be right. I am letting go of my need to be right. Stay with me, Liz. I am letting go
of my need to be right.
I am letting go of my need to be right.
I am letting go of my need to be right. I am listening and being more present and thanking God for his blessing us with another beautiful day.
Can you say that again?
I am listening and being present and thanking God for blessing us with another beautiful day.
I am living and being present and thanking God for blessing us with another beautiful day. I am living and present and thanking God for blessing us with another beautiful day. I am grateful for the ability to share love and be loved. I'm grateful
for the ability to share love
and be loved. I'm grateful for the ability to share love
and be loved.
I am that I am, and I am missing nothing.
I am
that I am, and I am missing nothing. I am that I am,
and I am
missing nothing. Ashe. Well, Liz and the tribe, y'all have a blessed day. Until next time, stay blessed, stay in your power. Remember, you have the unlimited power in you to become the best version of yourselves, to heal those traumas, to be the person who breaks those generational curses and bring your family catapult your DNA to the highest heights possible. But first, you have to believe that that's possible for you. And every single day, you take the daily steps, the daily walk to healing. That's my message, and I'm sticking to it. Peace.
Thank you. Peace and love.
Peace and love.